And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Monday, May 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you on a rainy Monday morning. Don Hamlet's here to talk about Absolute Kubota. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to see you again, of course, and hope your weekend went well.
It went great.
I think we're all pretty happy to see a little rainfall.
We needed it.
Yeah.
We need some rain. I think what it's going to do, it's going to boost what's coming up at the end of this month for all the farmers is hay season. Mm-hmm. You know, typically somewhere around the Memorial Day weekend is when a lot of people will get out and cut hay, and we've got disc mowers and tedders and hay balers sitting there set up ready to go if they want to come in and see us for those things.
What is a tedder?
A tedder is what you're going to use, like if your hay is on the ground, it's moisture content isn't correct, you can kind of turn it over and help it dry out so you can get the correct moisture content.
But not exactly a rake.
A rake is what's going to get it in those little rows so that your baler can pick it up and get it baled.
I think we used to call them windrows.
Yep, that'll work. That's what happens. That's what everybody calls it with their lawnmowers for sure, you know.
Well, you do have all that hay equipment at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, where you hang out Monday through Friday at least.
Actually, me and Caleb have some new schedules now. He's off on Mondays. I'm off on Fridays. We cover all the weekends, he and I do, whether he needs to be off or I need to be off. We swapped out this last weekend because his brother's graduating this Saturday, but we're open 7 to 5, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till noon on Saturdays. You can check us out on Facebook. We make a lot of posts. I think we make about a post every day about, some things that we might have going on. Just www.absolutekubota.com is our webpage. You can get on there and get some more links to Kubota's pages and different things. Check out a lot of equipment on there.
Well, you really have so much going for you, and we've mentioned this a number of times. It hasn't been all that long that you moved to 1506 West Main, but you've been there long enough for people to know where you are and to display all that you have there in a more spacious area, and no doubt that's helped.
I think so. Because now we're like right out on the main street, so it's a little bit easier for someone to drive by and see where we are. Like I keep saying all the time on our service department area, you can call Clint, set up an appointment, to bring your lawnmower in to get the oil changed, blade sharpened, tractor serviced, whatever you might want to do. If you want to do it yourself, you can come in and see our guys in the parts department. For the equipment that we sell, we're going to keep blades, belts, all your filters, your hydraulic fluids, your oils. We're going to keep all that in stock. It's going to be a very crazy situation if we don't have that stuff in stock ready to go when you get ready to do your own service.
But that means a lot. You can get it when you need it.
Yep.
And sometimes we all maybe delay changing the oil or doing the maintenance that needs to be done, and you get to a point where I have got to do that.
Yeah, it's got to be done. I mean, because it just makes the life of the equipment if you will just maintain it and take care of it. With our equipment right now, Kubota's got some awesome deals going. Of course, they do their own financing. They're their own bank, so they keep that 0% financing. Some of the tractors right now are even as stretched out as far as 0% for 72 months. I mean, that's a long time.
It is.
And all of them you can get for 0 for 60. You can get the lawnmowers like that. It's great deals. When you buy a tractor and a loader, the loader is going to be considered your first implement. You can get another implement, you'll get another $300 off, and you get the next implement, you'll get another $500 off. And a lot of people buying tractors, most everybody's going to get the loader. But then, if you get a box blade or a brush cutter, tiller, one of those quick hitches, we've talked about those before. Your savings just keep going up,
Well, that's great, but another thing too, it's hard to get people to work. Most people are pretty much do-it-yourself.
Yeah,
people.
Sure.
A lot of small farm operations is one person doing it.
Yep.
And you have the equipment for that. That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah, we've got everything sitting there ready to go. It's very few people can afford to have 3 or 4 different tractors, one set up with, different equipment hooked up to it. And that quick hitch, it's really neat. You hook it up to your 3-point hitch on your tractor, and then you just have a couple of handles you open up, and you just back right up to your cutter, hook up to it, push those handles back down, hook your drive line, you're ready to go. It's always set up.
Just doesn't take long to switch from one implement.
Does not. It's a pretty neat little deal.
That's a big time saver.
It's a big time saver. It's a back saver too, because you got a cutter laying on the ground and you're trying to move it around or something. It's probably not going to move much.
And your lawnmowers, you sell a lot of lawnmowers.
We do.
Maintain a lot of lawnmowers.
We do. We sell at our dealership. We sell Kubota, of course. We also have Hustler. Hustler's got some great deals going now. Got some good rebates going on some of their lawnmowers. And then we also sell Exmark.
Yeah.
So you can keep all of those going. Pete's over there, thumbs up. I believe he has an Exmark lawnmower, so we can keep everybody going.
Well, you've got something for just about whatever your need is, and whether you want to spend as little as possible or you don't mind spending a little bit more, depending on the quality that you want and the longevity and all of this, but it's all right there.
It's all right there, ready to go.
Well, we hope people are going to pay you a visit. We didn't mention RTVs. You got a few of them right now?
Got a few of those right now. Give me enough time to stop and get me a little breakfast on the way back to the shop, and I'll get you fixed up on one.
All right. Well, have a great week. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, guys.
Don Hamlet, Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon. Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs. They've got it all. Everything from weed eaters to hay balers. We're 10 minutes after the hour, and I have invited our friend, Mr. Hayward P. Norman IV, better known as Uncle Pete, to be here this morning, and here he is, the one and only Uncle Pete.
Good morning, Wilson County and the surrounding areas. This portion of your program today is brought to you by the veterans in your family. Good morning, Coleman.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good to see some rain, really.
Yeah. I think it came in the buckets. Sometimes I don't think they poured it out.
Well,
I want to give a head up to the. I've got a 15-year-old Exmark.
Really?
72-inch cut, liquid cooled. It's a commercial one with a roof on it and all that. They service it, and I don't let nobody else touch it. It still runs fine. The last time it was in there last year because it's getting ready to go in for service. The guy went through it completely, did pressure tests on the cylinders. He said, "You'll get another 5 to 10 years out of this."
Oh, wow.
And I can't say enough for their maintenance department because I drop it off. I don't ask. I said, service it. If they change the blades, they'll lay the blades on the deck. And I take them up to the blacksmith shop in the Grove and give them to them, and they make them into knives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a good place to recycle old lawnmower blades that you've bent on where you found those rocks in Wilson County. Yeah, they'll
blacksmiths at Fiddler's Grove.
Yeah, they've got a school up there, and that's a good thing. They'll take those and fold them 4 or 5 times and melt them down and hammer them out, and they make all kinds of things with them.
I didn't know that, but learn something every day.
Well, that's what you're all about, teaching.
What's happening with our veterans?
Well, we've got our building, thanks to the city of Wilson, or city of Lebanon. We have got the old fire hall on the other side of town on Hartman Drive by the railroad track. Mm-hmm. It's an older fire hall, has 2 bays, got lots of room. We've got to upgrade it to meet the handicap codes because a lot of our veterans are handicapped. But this building, when we get done, will be the Lebanon Veterans Center. It will have a day room and it will have televisions and computers. We'll have a place for group therapy. It'll have a place for a veteran employment service guy will be there. It will have different things that we can answer. Now, we're not going to be what Sabrina and her crew does at the museum. We're not that. This is for other things. Mm-hmm. But it's for you guys under 50 more than anything else. I have worked at this 20 years. We finally got it. But some of you guys that were in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Iraq, Iran, different places like that, you guys need to step up and join up because guess what? The U.S. Senate is trying to cut 22% of veteran services. Now, the only thing they understand in Washington, D.C. is numbers. When you go to them and say, by the way, we represent X million veterans, and we're going to put what you're doing in the next veterans paper, and we're going to remind them right before election that you voted for or against it. So you guys need to step up. It's not mine. I'll die with my benefits. But some of you guys don't know that you need them yet. I didn't. I was 35 years old when my flight surgeon said, we got a problem. I had diabetes. Compliments of Agent Orange sprayed by the U.S. government, which has contaminated 12 C-130s that cannot be used for nothing. It's killed thousands of people. Well, guess what? The burn pit was worse. So you guys that were in any of the activities where they burnt everything, when they burn those computers, the fumes off of that are deadly, but they don't kill you then. They stay in your body and they slowly start killing you. Doctor described it like this. You got this beautiful house and termites get in. And you don't do anything about it, and you don't know anything about it. And one day you open the refrigerator door and the refrigerator goes to the basement.
No. Okay.
That's when you realize you got termites. Well, that's you guys I'm not going to mention his name because I didn't get permission, but I had a guy that was my bug guy. And he went to Desert Storm and Desert Shield. His squadron was in where they were burning the oil wells.
Yeah.
He's in a wheelchair today. He cannot get around without a walker or without something to help him. So step up, fellas. Us old farts aren't going to be around here long enough to do all of this. We need some of that young muscle. We need to refresh our membership and our president and vice presidents and all of the different staff with the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars. They are the only two groups that can step up and go to Washington and go to these meetings. All these other little groups that say, oh, we got this for you, we got that for you, they can get nothing because they're not in any of those councils. But the American Legion is, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars.
We need to take a break.
Take a break.
Pete Norman is here. We take a break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Exmark builds mowers that deliver a perfect cut in less time. Because we believe what you get out of your lawn, not your mower, is what matters most.
Find signature cut quality, comfort, and reliability. Exmark's Laser Z is the zero-turn more landscape pros trust. Find attractive financing and the Exmark that's right for you at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon.
Exmark, official mowers of the backyard life.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. That seemed like a short break. I don't know whether it was or not. Pete Norman is with us, Uncle Pete, and we're talking about this is going to be known as
the Lebanon Veterans Center.
Lebanon Veterans Center.
Yes.
But you were telling me there are some problems to overcome, one being a leaky roof.
It's an older building that's been sitting there unoccupied for a while. It needs a roof on it. we're needing to raise funds, and I've already had people step up to me and give me checks for $100, which I'm depositing into our checking account for that. The board consists of the American Legion, the VFW, the VVA, the Veterans of Vietnam Veterans. We have invited Wilson Warriors to participate with us and be on that board. And then we're also going to invite 2 people or possibly 3 from the city at large, business people who will be on the board, doers and thinkers and that type of thing.
Well, you can't do a lot until the city
Signs everything off.
Yeah, and the city's actually going to repair the roof?
Yes, but if we can come up with the money to do it first, then possibly do it that way. I don't know. But we need to get it done so we can get in there. When it rained last night, I thought, Lord, I'll have to go by and dump all the buckets.
Yeah.
And there's buckets everywhere. This is a thing that's been needed for a long time. Where do you go in this city and sit down because things are just overwhelming you and talk to somebody? Veterans prefer to talk to a veteran because you've been there and done that. I got some of the guys, and we call it been there, done that. Do you need to talk? And some of these guys, their stories, I thought Vietnam stories were bad, but some of these guys were bad. I mean, worse. And they need to unload. And they can't do that in Uncle Pete's truck stop at a table with everybody listening.
Mm-hmm.
They're having financial problems. Well, if Sabrina's group at the Veterans Office, they can help them so much. We get calls all the time from people who did dumb things. A guy called me the other day, wanted $979 to pay his rent. And I said, partner, we can help a little bit, but we're not going to pay you rent. I said, how far are you behind? Well, I'm almost into 2 months. Well, are you drawing benefits? Yeah. I said, are you working? Yeah, but I didn't like where I was working at, so I quit. Well, we're not going to help you for stupid. But, what you need to do, and I gave him the list of some churches that do the Dave Ramsey course. I said, you need to take the Dave Ramsey course. You need to learn how to take care of your money.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, nobody else is. And that's the type of things that we'll do. And when we do, and I'm not doing it yet, but when we start doing it, it won't be just the husband or just the wife. It'll be both of them. Because you and I both know, hey, yes, honey, what else you want me to do? One of you's got to be in charge.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of times the guy is the worker, and the woman takes care of the house and is a little bit more frugal than most men. Oh, I like that shotgun. It ain't but $900.
You do have to establish priorities.
Yes. And, I was taking it back the other day. I was eating, and there was 5 or 6 guys back behind me, and they were all into the white hair area. Every one of them had been in Afghanistan and Iraq. Every one of them. The youngest one was 48. The oldest one was 54.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow. And I'm thinking, young guys. Well, yeah, there still is. And in our town, we've got a lot of National Guard guys. They're eligible. They can come in and join. And they need to. Again, I cannot stress it enough. If you were ever overseas or in the military, hey, look at Camp Lejeune. That's stateside duty.
Yeah.
And they estimate about 4 million people were affected by that, because Camp Lejeune was not just the husband or the wife. It was the first generation of children It was the second generation of children that are having birth defects.
So they were there, families were there.
Drinking the water.
Yeah.
Or
So
they
it
were,
affected
or
everybody
they,
that was
or,
there.
or as one doctor put it, the husband was there drinking the water. He drank the water, got the stuff in his system, and made a baby. And the baby got 50% of what he had.
Okay.
Now the baby's affected. So there's birth defects with bone diseases and scoliosis. There is a bunch of things related back to the husband. Now they're finding it in Vietnam. They're into great-grandchildren with Agent Orange.
Man. Well, I'm going to go back to what you mentioned earlier about a possible cutback in veterans benefits. Where'd this come from and why?
Oh, that was, hush, boy. A Republican-led group holding the budget at bay came up with a nice budget and a way to cut it and cut out all these things that they said Biden was giving, and he is giving a lot that he shouldn't, but all presidents do it, and then you negotiate. In their negotiation, they want to cut 22% of the budget for the veterans. And in their cutting of the 22%, a lot of it is things that have been promised to the guys from Afghanistan and Iraq, the burn pit victims, the other problems that was coming out of there, the mental stress, the PTSD. They want to cut these things. They don't need to cut these things.
Yeah, well, I'm all for some cuts, and we've got to get our spending
I understand
under control.
that.
I do not like the idea of cutting benefits to veterans, especially
No.
those that are really needed.
You know, right now we need more young people in the military.
Yeah.
I have a grandson that hit me between the eyes when he was about 18 years old, and I suggested he do a stint in the military. And he said, Pop, he said, after what they did to you and all your buddies and me listening to all of those stories, he said, they won't take care of you. Why would I want to do that if they won't even take care of you?
That kind of,
And woo,
yeah.
I told that story at the American Legion conference. I said, there's part of your problem right there. You know, we have not fought hard enough, and we've fought hard to save benefits and to strengthen benefits. You know, the last president was real good about, let's take this away from this group of veterans and let's give it to this group of veterans. Well, all he's doing is shifting money. And his theory behind it, well, the Korean era veterans are almost dead. So we'll take some of the money out of that. The World War II benefits, there's still a few of those, but we'll take some of that. Then he said, and look at all these Vietnam vets. That's the next largest group.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you want me to stand up for this country and tote a gun and defend it and do the things that the military does, then honor your word. And your word is, come in and we'll take care of you.
Okay, we got a couple of minutes. You'd like contributions to help you get
Yes.
your Veterans Center underway.
Yes, sir. You can come by and give it to me at the truck stop. You can come to the American Legion meeting tonight, which is, by the way, 6 o'clock we have a meal. Got pizzas tonight. And 6:30 we start our meetings. So come on by. It's going to be at the Veterans Lodge at the fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. Also, you can go to Wilson County and ask anybody to look up the deposit address for the Lebanon Veterans Center. We already have a checking account and all, and you can give us money direct.
You got any fundraisers planned?
We are working on that. We're going to talk about it a little bit more tonight. I've got something we don't know if we're going to get it done this year, but we're going to do a marathon.
Yeah.
You know, I might have to do it in a wheelchair, but we're going to do a marathon. I told somebody, said, how in the world are you going to do a 25-mile? I said, in my golf cart.
That'll work.
Absolutely.
I hope your battery's charged.
But we think that would be a really good deal, and we're, you know, the group that started Sherry's Run, that is the proof that people love to run, people love to help a good charity. We're a good charity.
Well, Pete, always good to have you. We'll do it again for too long, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, that is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more, so we hope you'll keep it here. FM 98.9.
Mount Juliet Plumbing is the company to call it. Mount Juliet Plumbing, we can fix it all. So if you're having a plumbing problem and you're needing it solved, come on Juliet Plumbing today. We will fix it right. That's a Mount Juliet Plumbing way. Give us a call today over here at Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. We do water leak repairs, water heater, slab foundation leak detection, and so much more at 615-733-5665.
We stay in an unsettled pattern to start the work week. Temperatures in the 70s for much of the morning, heading for a high of 83 degrees this afternoon. But in between all the sunshine, there will be chances for pop-up thunderstorms. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Number One Ned.
We welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company here on a rainy Monday morning. Billy Molinax just happened to drop by. He happens to drop by every Monday about this time.
That's right.
Representing Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. Billy, you come in with a few sprinkles on your coat like it's raining out there.
It's raining a little out today, Coleman, but that's okay. You know, a lot of people are getting their gardens planted or have the last few days, and so it'll help that to start growing and coming up.
Well, it's always good to see you, and you're here every Monday to talk about this place, and you're right. It was getting a little bit dry.
Yes,
I think this rain was needed, and I'm glad to see it come. And of course, it means the lawns are going to grow a little bit more briskly, and especially if the weather's warm.
That's right.
A lot of us will be mowing for the end of the week.
That's exactly right. You're right.
But it's May. That's what you expect.
You're supposed to mow in May.
Well, I guess what else you're supposed to do is to look at your car and see if you need a new one or need to get repair work done or whatever. You can take care of it at Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Well, that's exactly right, Coleman. And vacation time for everybody is fast approaching. And, so many times you think back to last year's vacation and you're thinking then, well, we need to get a new vehicle before we go on vacation next year. Well, next year has snuck up on us and it's here. So it might be time to take a trip down to see us or go to our website, which is where most people start. And just see if there's something that looks like it would fit your needs and fit your budget and something that you like.
Well, I think that's a great idea, and we'll just remind everybody right now, you can see the entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars at MountJulietCDJR.com.
Might see your neighbor there, Coleman.
All right, we got that out one more time. But as you say, and a lot of people do, that's where they go to start with.
Yep.
And one of the good things about your website is you can go there and nobody even knows it's you unless you want them to.
That's right. That's
not true everywhere, is it?
Well, it's funny. A customer that was in Monday of last week, had just been. She was in our dealership. And she was looking on some other people's dealership, the website, and did not submit any information, but they called her while she was sitting there with us. And she said, I don't like that. And I said, well, She said, I didn't ask them to call me. So that does happen. But you know, you can look at our price. You can see the price. It's clearly posted. And then if you want more information, we have a way that you can submit your information to us. And then, you know, we'll give you a call back or email or however works best for you.
We've talked about your inventory quite a bit, and it is considerably more in the last few weeks and months than it was a year or so ago, and that's good for everybody.
Yes, it is, Coleman. New inventory really everywhere is growing some. If you go by many lots, you can see that. But, you know, we've got about 113 new vehicles right now, Coleman, which is pretty amazing when you look at where we were just really a year ago. So things are improving. Got better selection. You don't have to necessarily anymore settle for what somebody has, but most of the time they're going to have really at least close to what you're looking for.
Well, that's good. That's certainly in the customer's favor, and people appreciate that.
Well, that's exactly right.
You want to get as close as you can to what you want.
Yeah.
I think you just appreciate not having to take what's left, so to speak. Well, there just wasn't a lot to choose from for a period of time there.
Well, I mean, a year ago, Coleman, we got down to as low as about 15 new vehicles. And so if you were looking for a new vehicle, there wasn't a lot of choice, and it wasn't just us. Yeah. It was everywhere. And so a lot of times people were buying not necessarily exactly what they were wanting, but just because that was something that was even in the realm of possibility of being what they were wanting.
Well, again, 600 Pleasant Grove Road, Mount Juliet's where you'll find Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Billy has been the general manager there for quite some time, even when it had another name, and you know the territory. You also know that 600 Pleasant Grove Road is the easy side of Mount Juliet.
We talk about that every week, Coleman, and it is still on the easy side. Yep. It still is.
Traffic's not hardly as robust on that side.
That's right. That's right.
Well, got a great service department too, we might mention this morning.
Yes, we do. And Coleman, they can normally work you in pretty quickly. A lot of service departments this day and time, when you call to schedule an appointment, they may be, 3 to 4 to 6 weeks out before you can even get in. And normally we can get you scheduled in, within a week, and sometimes quicker than that, Coleman.
And you do it all, I guess, the oil change, just routine maintenance to, if you got a bigger problem, you can take care of a lot of that.
We can take care of just about anything.
Okay, well, that's good to know as well.
Yeah.
Well, this is pretty much getting. Well, we're not in the middle. I started to say we're on the 8th of May.
Yeah.
But next week we'll be about in the middle. These months pass by in a hurry.
Man, I tell you what, it's hard to believe that we are in May, Coleman.
1/3 of the year is gone.
It's gone. It's gone, and that is hard to believe.
It is. But
time goes quick.
And I think the older you get, the faster it goes.
I believe that's correct.
Well, keep in mind, you are open Monday through Saturday. Your sales department, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yep.
So you've got 6 days from 8:30 to 7 p.m. to come in, and somebody's going to take care of you. And all there in Mount Juliet, 600 Pleasant Grove Road. So have a good one.
I'll see you next Monday.
All right, that'll be great. Billy Mullinax, General Manager for Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We are 22 before the hour, and this is the Monday that we feature Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. Ed Kelly is with us. Ed, good morning.
Well, good morning, Coleman. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to say that Mount Juliet Premier Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, they did a great job helping me get a truck a few months ago, and I'm really pleased with the service and everything they did for me.
All right. Well, I'm sure Billy appreciates you saying that, and you recommend them then.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you're here to talk about a number of things, and got a special guest this morning as well. But for Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection, Ed Kelly is the guy, and his phone number is 615-733-5665, 5665. And how has the plumbing been lately? You been busy?
We've been extremely busy, and we're still needing a couple of plumbers to fill some of the trucks we're in. And, obviously, we're always replacing people's water heaters when they go out, or fixing their water leaks, or replacing their toilets, whatever they need, whenever they, we're there for you whenever your plumbing goes south.
Right, and one of the things that does describe you in your title, the leak detection, plumbing and leak detection, and you do a lot of leak detection, don't you?
We do, yes. We have state-of-the-art equipment to help find these leaks, and they're not always cut and dry. Nothing's 100%. Nothing's 100%. There's more complications. It's not always as simple as people would like it, but we have the technology to get you on the right path, no matter how difficult it is to find your leak. We will find it. It may not be at the cost you want us to find it at, but sometimes leaks are more complicated depending on how big your property is, how deep the pipe is.
A lot of factors.
So it's not just, a lot of times it's space, how far is the line? I mean, the longer the run, the harder it could be to find your leak. If you live in a residential home with a slab, I mean, that's what we're really good at. But even with that, sometimes with the new piping, the leaks don't make that much noise. And if it's a very, very minute leak, we don't guarantee that we can, find it right on the spot, but we have the technology and the experience to get your leak located and repaired.
All right, and that is one of the things I guess you could say you kind of specialize in. That's part of the title of your business.
Absolutely.
Detection. Yeah. Well, are you ready to?
I want to introduce my good friend, Senator Mark Pody.
Good morning, Coleman. And Coleman, I got to tell you, I had a slab and we had a leak and plumbing problems underneath the slab. And Ed Kelly was able to come with his crew and find exactly where the problem was and fix it. And when it's underneath the concrete slab, it's hard to know exactly what's going on. All you know is you have a problem. So we were able to call in one of the best and they fixed it. So, I just really appreciate the professional service he did.
All right. Nothing like a good endorsement.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your recommendation.
And no, so I know that we're here to promote his business and such, but I want to give you something else that he's doing. And we have so many good corporate folks that just help the community. But we're holding an event, and the event is The King is Coming, and we've actually rented out on September 30th, the Expo Center of this year. And Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection is one of the prime sponsors of this event, and we're actually building a life-size replica of the Old Testament. And if somebody's been to the Ark in Kentucky, where you actually go through and have an experience, life education experience of what it was like to be on the Ark, we're trying to do the same thing here to say, hey, what was it like to meet God back, in the days of Christ? What was it like? So we're going to be having a full educational program, for Sunday school people that, or the classes or their churches want to come, and there'll be hour tours, and they're going to be totally free thanks to sponsors like Ed Kelly.
And again, this is September 30th.
September 30th, yes.
Got time to plan for it.
And we're working on it now just to build everything and to get everything involved. It's incredible. We're asking for churches and different groups to step up because we want booths, for example. So when somebody walks in, they want to be transported back to this time in history. But we want, for example, a booth to say, here's the type of money that they were using, and here's what it meant today. Here's the type of food they were eating. Here's the type of music they were having. Even animals. We're going to have some animals, so people would sacrifice their animals. And we'd say, here's what a lamb would cost, and if you didn't have that much money, here would be a bird, a pigeon, or a dove, and so forth. So we're trying to get that completely redone, so when somebody walks into the Expo Center, they will have this experience.
Well, you're probably having to do a little research, particularly read the Bible in this regard. But there's more to it than that, obviously, because there's certain dimensions there. But there's other reference material, no doubt, you're looking at to get it as authentic as possible.
Absolutely. So we are literally starting in, Exodus, where it talks about this is the size, this is what it is, and even the measurements, when they talk about a cubit, what exactly that means. So we want this to be as realistic as we possibly can.
Do you find a cubit is a foot and a half sound about right?
It does. Typically they'll say from the tip of your finger to your elbow is what they used to call a cubit. We're going to be doing everything we can to make it just as exactly as we possibly can. Now, I will tell you, that talks about overlaid with gold.
Yeah.
We probably won't have gold overlaying.
You're sponsoring, but you're not guaranteeing gold, right, Ed?
I'm actually not as familiar with the project as I would like to be, but I know that Mark and his team always does a great job with these events, and this is actually a Christian event that I'm very happy and pleased to be supporting.
Okay, we need to take a break. You said on that day you're going to have hour tours. Did I hear that right?
That's correct. So you can sign up, for example, for I want to be there at 9 o'clock, or I can want the 10 o'clock tour. They're all free, but it's going to be literally a guided tour, an experience, so somebody can go through and you can take your Sunday school class, or you can just take your kids and have something that should be a memorable experience as well as very educational of how they met God back in the Old Testament.
But you think you can do all of this in an hour? That will be plenty of time to see what you have that day.
Well, people can stay around for all the booths and such much longer than that, but the actual tour part will be an hour.
Okay, all right. Well, glad we got that straight, and we do want to take a break right here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
We're the Mount Juliet Plumbers, and we're just a phone call away. We know that if you're having a plumbing problem, you're not having a very good day. So give us a call right now, and a plumber will be on his way. At 615-733-5665. Call 615-733-5665. Call your local plumbers over here at Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. We install water heaters, water lines, new toilets, and do general repairs at 615-733-5665.
Collier Engineering is a civil engineering design firm that can provide surveying for your home or property. A family-owned business in Nashville, Collier Engineering has multiple employees in Wilson County, including survey manager Dan Curry. He's a registered land surveyor and a certified floodplain surveyor. He would love the opportunity to assist with your surveying needs. Visit collierengineering.com. Call 931-510-2800. Mention this ad and get 10% off.
Fight Nashville. Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our program presented today, Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. Ed Kelly, he's here with us on this particular Monday each month. And what do we do next? We're talking
We're going to
about
actually, I'm not just the owner of Mount Juliet Plumbing. I'm also, like you would say, the singing plumber. So
yes, you are.
We've got a song that we want to share with y'all. It's a real country song. I'm just going to warn you, it's not one of these modern country songs with a bunch of hip hop in it. It's a real country song. So we're going to play it, and I'm bringing country music back, and this is a real country song. So here we go.
Ready to hear it?
It's called "Baby, I'm the One for You." To be a part of my life. Everything you said to me sounded so right, but now I don't know what to think after what you did last night. Oh, you know it was wrong. Yeah, you know it wasn't right. Now I have several questions running through my head. I just keep hearing all those words that you said. But before I move on and convince myself that you are gone, baby, I need to know. Do you need a man in your life holding you tight every night? Do you need a shoulder you can cry on and rely on? Are you seeking happiness? Someone who can make you smile without making a sound? Then baby, I'm the one for you. If you told me that you wanted to try and work things out, I'd give you another chance. Oh, there is no doubt. Oh, but if you want to put an end to this, I'll be just fine. I might shed some tears, but my heart will heal in time. Oh, now I don't know what it is that I have to prove. I've said it over and over, girl, you know that I love you. So before you let me walk away, try and think about our better days and tell me what I need to know. Do you need a man in your life holding you tight every night? Do you need a shoulder you can cry on and rely on? Are you seeking happiness? Someone who can make you smile without making a sound? Baby, I'm the one for you. Do you need a man in your life holding you tight every night? Do you need a shoulder you can cry on and rely on? Are you seeking happiness? Someone who can make you smile without making a sound? Then baby, I'm the one for you. Baby, I am the one for you.
All right. I'm the one for you, Ed Kelly, right?
That's right.
When did you record that?
Recently, the song isn't like a brand new song. I've had it in my toolbox for a while, but I just got it recorded by Sean Pody, and he does this for a living, and he's really good at it, and he's
He's helped you considerably, hasn't he?
he's a great musician, and he's a much better musician than I am. I've never claimed to be a great musician. I've just always had a talent to sing and write. But he can play almost any instrument that I bet he could play any instrument, actually.
Well, let's ask the senator about him. Is he a cousin?
Yeah, yes, he is. Yes, he is. So, and he does a great job. Loves music, and if there's any genes in musical, he's got it because I don't have any. Now, Ed, did you write this song yourself?
I did. Yes,
You did. Oh, have you written all your songs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have considered redoing a couple of songs that I won't mention. But because I think we need to get back to country music. I don't know what's happened over the years where we've evolved into some like a hip hop type of country, but everybody I talk to hates it.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's okay to say on the radio, but everybody I talk to can't stand what they're producing today.
Now, has the music helped
And,
your business?
It has.
Okay.
Yes, it has. And so, funny thing is, when I finally made it here to Nashville, I started listening to a lot of this stuff, and it sounded the same. I couldn't identify who the singers were, who the artists were, and then I was like, well, maybe I got here too late. And I've met a lot of people in the music industry just because of what we do, we help people with their plumbing, and I believe that country music can be redeemed. We just have to get back to what made it popular and what made it great, and that's why I'm here. I want to bring it back to the traditional roots, and because that's what real country music fans love, is the wholesomeness, not some of this country porn that people like to sing. I mean, we need to get back to our wholesome roots. And so...
How do you, if I can ask us, how do you go about determining what instruments you will use? You write a song, and I don't think you write it for the instruments you're going to use.
Correct,
But
yes.
I mean, guitars and fiddles are pretty common with country music, and a steel guitar occasionally, other bass, whatever. But I don't know much about that. But how do you?
There's only so many instruments you're going to use in country music. You've got the fundamental instruments, the drums, the guitar, and then you've always got bass and electric, and then you might add like piano or like mandolin, and Sean Pody, who helps me with my my music. I think he has a website called thepodium.com. I may be getting it wrong, but he is a very talented, producer. Mm-hmm. He does more than just the recording. I mean, he helps coordinate the whole thing, and he's been doing the music for a long time. He's a Christian man. He's had opportunities in the music business. He's played for some of the top country singers that are known in the industry, and from what I understand, he chose to be a family man over being a road man. Yeah. But he's just a very talented guy, and when it comes to the fundamental instruments, you have certain instruments for country. You might add I know fiddle's not too popular anymore. I don't think Charlie Daniels would like that, but I've got a couple of songs that we did with the fiddle because we wanted that sound. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that I don't think those songs would be near as good without the fiddle.
Yeah.
And but yeah.
Have you got another one you want to play today, or
I don't think so. Okay. But if y'all want to hear more of my music, you can go to edkellymusic.com, and I've got the whole album for sale for $14.99. You can download it, and I've also got hats and T-shirts for sale. Appreciate any support, and obviously, the music is great, and you're going to really love it if you download it and listen to it one time.
Okay, you want to get back to Senator Pody's project here?
Yes, I do. Yes,
we've got about 3.5 minutes left this morning, but it's a little ways off. But it's something that you seem to really be putting a lot of your attention, your time and attention into this event coming up on the 30th of September.
Absolutely. So, and I got to tell you, last night, my wife and I went to a dinner, and they had a representative there from Israel. In fact, he is one of the counselors for the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. And the reason we were there is we did a resolution for Israel's 75th anniversary. So I got to talk to him and give him the resolution. And we were telling the people there at that event as well about this. And these are people that love Israel, and they wanted to come back and see how life-size and how much we're going to be close. So I know that we're going to be having some folks attend from Israel as well, and just to see what it was like. And I'm going to tell you that if you got a Sunday school class, or if you got a church that you want to have a full educational tour, you can schedule this and have this happen on September 30th. The tour itself will take an hour. There'll be other things that you can do at the same time, but it's not an all-day event, so you don't have to be there all day. But we want to literally give people a chance to say, how did they worship and meet God back in the Old Testament?
Yeah, what are the hours? Do you know for sure?
Yes. So we're going to start with a pastor's breakfast. So David Barton, and he's from Wall Builders he's out of Texas, and he's coming up, and we had a pastor's breakfast last year as well, and we had, over 100 and some pastors that were there, and he's going to give some information about it as well as some American history. And after that, we'll start tours at 9 o'clock, and then every hour, like 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 4 o'clock, we'll be having tours. People can sign up and say they want to go. And the reason we're doing that is we can only have like a couple hundred people per tour to make that still where they can hear what we're saying and they can get to experience each thing as we're going through it.
Now, do you have to buy a ticket? Do you have to pay to do this?
Actually, because of Ed Kelly and Mount Juliet Plumbing and other sponsors like him, it's going to be a totally free event. They're picking up all the expenses, so when somebody comes in, they will have a chance to see this event, The King is Coming, how they met God, and what it means today. So this will be a really, really good educational experience for Christians and non-Christians in today's world.
Just wondering, will they have an opportunity to make a contribution if they want to, or are you not even doing that?
I'm not. This is totally a free event. I am asking for volunteers, though, because we're going to literally need over 100 volunteers. I am asking because we're going to have people dressed up literally in the outfits. I even asked, I'm looking for a beggar. So somebody will be sitting at the gates begging and such. But we want to do it where when they walk in, they're gonna almost be transported a couple thousand years in history.
Mark, is that beggar a blind man?
If we can get them.
Because I was reading in John chapter 9 where Jesus healed the blind man.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were arguing after he was healed, and they were like, wasn't that the man who was blind and who used to beg?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, again, this is coming up on the 30th of September. That is a Saturday, and it's a little ways off, but we're here reminding you early on. We're about out of time here, but again, our program today presented by Ed Kelly and Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection, 615-733-5665. Senator, thanks for being with us, Ed.
We'll see you next month, Coleman.
Right, great. That's it for Monday. Join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a magnificent day.